Johnny Cash was a badass country and rock music icon whose career spanned nearly 50 years. And while each of his 5 biological children have honored his outlaw legacy, they all walked different lines. So what exactly happened to Rosanne, Kathy, Cindy, Tara, and John Carter? Rosanne Cash is the eldest daughter of Johnny Cash and Vivian Liberto. Born in May 1955, Rosanne had a strong passion for music, just like her father.
Across the top, he wrote 100 essential country songs. And he said, "This is your education."
Rosanne's album debut was 1980's Right or Wrong, and she would later record 15 studio albums in the country and pop genres. The 80s were great for Rosanne, who also won her first Grammy Award in 1985 for her song I Don't Know Why You Don't Want Me. In 2015, the singer took home 3 Grammys, including Best Americana Album for The River and the Thread. That same year, Rosanne was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. Like her father, Rosanne would marry people in music. Her first husband was country singer-songwriter Rodney Crowell, whom she married from 1979 to 1992. The former couple shares 3 daughters named Caitlin, Carrie, and Chelsea, with Rosanne also raising Crowell's daughter Hannah from a previous marriage. In 1995, Rosanne married musician and music producer John Leventhal. The couple welcomed a son named Jacob in 1999, who has, unsurprisingly, found a passion in music. In 2010, Rosanne published her memoir, Composed, which depicted her life with her famous father, stepmother, and road to music success. She's also written a children's book, Penelope Jane, a Fairy. Kathy Cash was born a year after her sister Rosanne Cash in 1956. However, she wasn't big on singing like her older sibling, although she participated in family concerts like their 1978 Christmas special, where she sang Silent Night with her father, 3 sisters, and even her stepsisters from June Carter Cash. Singing wasn't in the cards for Kathy. Speaking about her brief music career, Kathy shared with the Johnny Cash Info Center, "I didn't do that for long. I didn't like it. I'm not shy at all, but he put me on a stage and my knees were knocking. He gave me the opportunity. If you want to sing, sing. If you don't, don't. I sang 4 or 5 times and finally said, 'This just isn't me.' And he said, 'That's okay, baby. If it's not you, it's not you.' So I sat it out." Despite not wanting to start a singing career, she married a musician. Kathy has been married to country singer Jimmy Tittle since 1982. Cindy Cash was born in 1959 and is the 3rd daughter of Johnny Cash and Vivian Liberto. Like her older sister, Cindy also realized she had a knack for singing and was going on tour with her father and stepmother, June Carter Cash, when she was just a teenager. In 1979, while on tour, Cindy sang alongside Johnny to his song Lay Me Down in Dixie. Cindy enjoyed touring with her father, telling the North Side Sun in 2005, "I loved going on the road with him. That was where he was most comfortable. That's where we got to know each other best. On the road, we bonded, and I found out that I am so much like him, it's scary." Cindy ended up creating her band, The Next Generation, which included the children of prominent country music icons like Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty. The band never put out an album, with Cindy telling the Sioux City Journal in 2010 that she slowed down her singing career. "That was in the late 80s and was great fun and a great learning experience for me, but I haven't performed in at least 10 years. Though she strayed from the spotlight, Cindy and her 3 sisters spoke fondly of their father and their memories with him during the 2017 Becoming Our Father, Johnny Cash's Daughters in Conversation at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville, Tennessee. Cindy Cash stepped back from performing to live a quieter life and became an antiques dealer. When she was a teenager, she and her father, Johnny Cash, looked for treasure with the help of metal detectors in their free time on the former family farm in Tennessee. Once she stopped singing, she continued her love of finding old and unique items by owning an antique booth at the Antiques Mall of the South in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Cindy told the North Side Sun in 2005 that her stepmother, June Carter Cash, loved to collect antiques. She shared, "Dad used to say the bus would automatically turn into antique stores. June actually had an antique store at her office open to the public." Cindy has been married 3 times. Her first marriage was to Chris Brock, and the former couple welcomed a daughter. Her second marriage was to singer-songwriter Marty Stewart from 1983 to 1988. She married her 3rd husband, Eddie Panetta, in 2003. Sadly, Panetta died in a motorcycle accident in 2009. Like her other siblings, Cindy also wrote a book about her beloved father. In 1997, she released The Cash Family Scrapbook, a book filled with private photographs and memories of the Cash family.
It's comforting to me. It's like he's still here. And that's a big deal to me.
Born in 1961, Tara Cash is the youngest daughter of Johnny Cash and Vivian Liberto. Unlike most of her siblings, Tara has mostly kept out of the spotlight. However, she did release a book about her famous father in 2014. Recollections by J.R. Cash features handwritten memories by the Hurt singer. In 1995, Tara asked her father to answer questions about his childhood, and the following year, he gave his answers to his daughter for her birthday. Tara created a book from them, including personal photos of Johnny and their family. Tara told KASU, "These questions are not the typical questions that he was asked in the countless number of interviews he did in his career. This book tells the story of a young boy, his home life, his friends and family, his dedication to his work, and where all of his hopes and dreams came alive." In 2020, the documentary about Johnny's first wife, My Darling Vivian, was released, which includes interviews with Johnny and Vivian's 4 daughters. During an interview with 101 FM News, Tara shared that it finally spotlighted their mother, who was mainly left in the dark regarding their famous father. Not only did she, Vivian, exist, but she was a huge, beautiful part of our lives, so it was time that her story was told. Tara lives in Portland, Oregon with her husband Fred and has 2 kids. John Carter Cash is the only child of Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash. Born in 1970, John started his music career at 3, when his parents would take him up on stage during their performances. John told Cowboys and Indians magazine, "That feeling, the intensity, and the energy from the audience is a beautiful thing, and stayed with me from then." John has released 3 albums, Bitter Harvest, The Family Secret, and We Must Believe in Magic. Besides making his own music, John has been working as a record producer for years. He helped produce works for Sheryl Crow, Loretta Lynn, Willie Nelson, and Elvis Costello. However, his most cherished work as a producer was working on his mother's albums Press On and Wildwood Flower. The latter won the Grammy for Best Traditional Folk Album. John shared with Cowboys and Indians magazine, "I'm most definitely proud of my mother's albums, so I'm always following the heart and the memory that connects with my mother." John also worked with his father. He recalled with CBS Morning in 2014 that he worked as a producer for the final 3 albums of his father's American series. Remembering his times with Johnny, he shared, "My dad was full of laughter, he was full of joy, full of spirit. He had a great sense of humor and a great love." John Carter Cash has spoken fondly of his parents and has written about them in several published works. In 2003, John released his first book, Anchored in Love, an intimate portrait of June Carter Cash. The book discusses June's music career and her marriage to Johnny through the telling of their only son. In 2011, John released a book about the life of his famous dad titled House of Cash: The Legacies of My Father, Johnny Cash. The book also includes unpublished photos, lyrics, and art of the iconic singer. John is also the author of 3 children's books and has even written a cookbook titled The Cash and Carter Family Cookbook: Recipes and Recollections from Johnny and June's Table. The book features favorite dishes from Johnny and June, including the singer's old iron pot chili recipe. In his cookbook, John also shares memories from his childhood with his famous parents and stories from other musicians who have shared a table with Johnny and June. John told Cowboys and Indians magazine, "The stories that are in the book are varied and about learning how to cook in New York City when I was a boy, working on the road with my mother and father, and eating all around the world. But there's a lot more to it than just sitting around the dinner table. The book is greatly diverse."